Welcome into Tribe Talk here this week, and a big victory for the Clarke Indians on homecoming. Joining us here on Tribe Talk, the head football coach of the Clarke Indians, that is Duane Matthess. And Coach, obviously, your first homecoming victory as the head coach here, and a fantastic all-around night. The 87 team was here. Stands were packed to the top, all the way around the track as well. Just a fantastic night nonetheless, and boy, did you put a result out there for them to enjoy to head home with as well.
Yeah, first of all, it was just great to see those guys back on the 87 team. One of them, a few of them, drove from Arkansas, Ohio. Actually, on my way into lifting this morning, one of them was heading back to Ohio, had an 8.5-hour drive in front of them. And so, I just told him we appreciated them being there for us. And he said, no, he's like, we appreciate this. So, it was long overdue. One of the, teams that laid the foundation for what it takes to be successful. And we hope to some at some point get to where they were, and again, thanks to them for coming. As far as great atmosphere, stands were packed, everyone was the place was rocking, and fortunately for us, we were able to provide some things for them to cheer about.
Absolutely, you gave them that opportunity, and boy, you talk about the 87 team laying the foundation for what it takes to be a good team here at Clarke, and I think you guys took a couple of steps in that direction last evening, knocking off Saydel on homecoming. It's been a long time coming, but I think there's only been a handful of teams that can say they've won homecoming games here at Clarke, and you guys now are one of them. This 2018 team continues to impress and continues to show the community that there's been a nice change.
Certainly, it's always nice to win your homecoming games, because it seems like those are the ones that always stick out the most to kids when you look back, throughout your career. They're a little bit more challenging to manage with everything that goes around on homecoming week in regards to distractions. But, it was kind of a nice get it out of the way, because this week we have even a bigger distraction on game day with the Blitz coming into town. So maybe it's nice for them to be able to kind of juggle those distractions and still be ready for the game. And they were able to bring home the victory and say they won on homecoming, something we couldn't do last year, but they did it the year before. So they finally kind of get that taste of victory again for homecoming. And this is something that I hope our team realizes isn't it's not a given to win any game. So you have to go out there and you have to execute, and you have to be something that we've probably say too much and to the kids, and they start saying it themselves, is they have to be locked in, to know what know their assignment and be engaged in the game, to know, like, even if we score a touchdown, you're running out there, because you're on PAT, just to know what's going on within the game itself.
Well, let's talk about that game itself. Obviously, it didn't necessarily have an easy start for you guys out of the gate. It was a tight contest for the first couple of quarters, and then about third quarter is when you guys really found the groove to get things going, found the opportunities to get things going. I guess fourth quarter really is when the scoring parade started to happen for you guys. But nonetheless, what was your message between the third and fourth quarters that really lit a fire under them?
Well, we just said that basically was enough. I said, look, you let a team hang around and give them hope, they're going to kick the door down. And, I don't like seeing us getting outscored in the third quarter, 12-6. We got a little stagnant there in the second and third quarter. But, it's nice. Usually we get the scoring in the second and the third and kind of peter off a little bit with the fourth quarter, but it was nice to be able to see us kind of start fast. And we scored 14 points right out of the gate in the first quarter, Second play of the game, Garrett Moore houses one, 50-yard touchdown. And then it was just kind of they realized that they're going to have to, put some people on number 34. And whenever he was in the game, they had a lot of different hats coming towards him. So, but we also had a 20-point fourth quarter, so our guys didn't stop, and they just they wanted to leave no doubt in people's minds that this team is a much improved team this year.
Very workmanlike attitude is throughout the evening, and really got the job done in its own right. You talked a little bit there about Garrett Moore, and I think it's been the first time in a long time you've had three running backs over 100 yards on the ground, and you had a handful of guys get the opportunity to touch the football throughout the night as well. But then just in Garrett's performance alone, 246 yards and 3 scores on the night. Just outstanding all-around individual performance there.
Yeah, he really obviously came ready to play. We knew that he would be ready to play. He's been itching to be back on that field for quite some time. And one of the things that I told him, I said, live in the moment, that where you're at, be where your feet are. I think my concern was, so much in adrenaline, so much excitement that he wouldn't be able to kind of rein it in a little bit, but he did a fantastic job, and I mean, got a little banged up at times, but I think he'll be fine, and we're just if teams are gonna, the thing about what I love about our team, if someone's gonna key in on someone, then we have 4 other players, and when Peyton was healthy, we felt this strongly about him as well, that we have a lot of different offensive weapons we can go to, whether it be Fonnie, Riley, Garrett, Chris, Peyton was when he was healthy, Amani. I mean, all those guys could break a long run at any point. You can't key in on one person.
And obviously there it shows you couldn't do that, and it really burned Saydel in their own right. Garrett Moore, 246. You had Riley with 121, and Chris going over the century mark right at 100. And all 3 of those guys found their way into the end zone quite a few times throughout the night. Riley with 3 scores as well. Chris had another one on top of it. But overall, performance-wise, lots of things you guys can look at and really say this was a big part of the game, big point in the game. But as you guys take a look back at the night overall, there are some areas that you'd like to clean up a little bit. And talking with some of the other guys as well, they mentioned it wasn't necessarily the best performance you guys have had all year yet.
No, that's this is what kind of perspective sometimes, we get our blinders on as coaches, and we sometimes forget where we were just a year ago. We're so frustrated with some things, and it's like if we would have got half of that last year, we would have been ecstatic on stuff. But we had a 47-18 game, and we're not satisfied. I mean, so that's just telling you where our program has changed from just in a short time. And I love that, because kids aren't satisfied with it. They know that we can do better. Their expectation of themselves is to do better. And, we have to be able to tackle better. We have to be able to sustain our blocks and get up to the second level better. If we set a school rushing record team-wise with 472 yards rushing, and the sad thing is I think we could have had 600 and some yards rushing if we could have sustained our blocks a little bit better and got to the second level and on some other things. So I mean, that just shows you how potent our offense can be.
Very heavy hitters, and just looking at some of those numbers there, 11 yards per carry for Garrett. You had Chris with just about 10 yards per carry or more, about 16 actually, and just you look at it, the overall landscape of things, just under 8 yards per play for you guys on the evening nonetheless. But when you take a look back at it, and you take a look back at the crowd, the atmosphere, the whole night as a whole, you'd have to almost say it was probably one of the most successful nights in this program's history.
Wow, that's a pretty bold statement. I don't know. Since we have that '87 team going 7-0 undefeated, I think I'm going to defer probably to some of those games back then as one of the most exciting games in our program's history. I can say it was probably one of the most satisfying wins in my tenure. And I think in probably all 4 years of these seniors' high school career, it was probably one of the more satisfying wins for them. Just with being able to, a lot of records fell, in the sense of, most team tackles behind the line of scrimmage. You have Garrett getting the individual rushing record, beating it by like 10 yards. Then, team rushing record for a game. We weren't that far off for most total yards in a game. Those are just nice things to see, and that just shows how our offense has gotten better from week one, because I think obviously Saydel's probably a little bit better team than Martinsdale. Actually a lot better team than Martinsdale in the sense of where the individuals and collectively where they are. But, we weren't doing this against Martinsdale, putting up these type of numbers. We've gotten, you want to see growth throughout the season. And, I think over these last 5 weeks, our team has grown and gotten better.
We'll take a quick break here on Tribe Talk. When we come back, we'll talk with Garrett Moore after having his 246-yard night and 3 touchdowns. We'll talk with him as well as some other players from the Clarke Indians next. We'll wrap this one up with Coach Matthess, though, at the end of Tribe Talk. All coming up next here on Tribe Talk. Welcome back into Tribe Talk here today. Joining us now is the running back for the Clarke Indians. That is Garrett Moore. And Garrett, thank you first of all for joining us and talking a little bit about last night's big homecoming victory.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming for you to get back out onto the field. You've probably been wanting to get out there for quite some time. And boy, did you step on the field in a big way. 246 yards, 3 scores, and really you look at a couple of different plays, could have easily been up to 300 on the yard carries.
Yeah, I couldn't have done that without the holes linemen made. We came together as a team, and they opened the holes for me, and I took advantage of the holes and hit him hard and paid off.
Absolutely. You guys scored, I think Coach said you guys had 3 different guys with 100 yards rushing in the contest. You had 2 guys eclipse the 200 mark, or have 2 guys get close to that 200 mark. Obviously, you went over that, and 2 guys score 3 touchdowns. The team broke 455 yards of rushing as a school record. Yours was a school record as well, individualized. Just talk about the overall performance of the game and kind of the overview of the night for you guys.
Our performance wasn't the best, but we got our heads down close to the half. A little bit after halftime as well, but after that we had a little bit of momentum and we used that, and we really started rolling after third quarter. A little bit into the third quarter we started rolling really well.
Talk to us. What was the message that Coach gave you guys at halftime? Obviously, it was a close ball game there going into the half. I think it was a 1 or 2 score game, and then Saydel came out and put it to a 1 score game in the third quarter. And that's kind of when you guys, like you said, started clicking and everything got going. What was the message at halftime that really got you guys geared up and changed around?
His message was that it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be a fight. He's telling us the score is 0-0 right now, and just to do our best as a team and then play assignment football.
Absolutely. When you look back at the night in general, and you have the opportunity now to kind of sit back and look at the whole thing, talk about what it kind of means to you to go out there on homecoming nonetheless and put up 3 scores on 246 yards.
Oh, I was so nervous before the game because my shoulder injury, but I grabbed the Bible last night, the night before, and I read that, praying to God I'd come out of the game safe. I had high goals, but I just dropped those and wanted to win and come out of the game safe.
And obviously you've done that to be here this morning and be able to celebrate with the team, and obviously just a all-around outstanding night. Coach brought back the 87 team, and I'm sure a lot of them spoke to you guys about it. What did some of those guys say to you after the ball game?
They all said, great job running hard. They gave me hugs. They said congrats on beating the record. Them standing there was just awesome. I loved looking over and seeing them on the sidelines. It just helped me drive and push myself even though I was in pain.
Absolutely, and homecoming obviously added to that whole factor in its own right. You have that homecoming victory and open the season 1-0 in district play. I believe this is the first time in quite some time Clarke has opened district play 1-0 to start the year. Only a handful of teams can say that this year so far, and you guys just happen to be one of them, and a big opportunity coming up for you guys this upcoming week as well.
Yep. The way I see it is we're working 200 feet at a time. So next week that's what we're set on, and it's going to be one game, one district game at a time, and hopefully we're on the road to the playoffs.
When you look at this upcoming week, now you guys have Des Moines Christians, next guy up for you guys. After putting Saydel in the rearview mirror, you get the opportunity today to kind of celebrate and look back at the ball game. But then moving forward, coming into tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week, you get prepared for Des Moines Christian. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy task, as Coach had said. But how do you come out next week throughout the week of practice and kind of prepare yourselves to possibly do what you guys did last night?
Tomorrow is going to be just, a relaxed day, but Monday we're going to get right back into it. We're going to watch film from Friday, and we're going to fix everything that we see that was wrong, and then we're going to watch a little bit of Des Moines Christian film. And I think we're going to have a great week of practice because of how Friday turned out.
Talk about the culture real quick here before we let you go. Talk about the change that you've seen in the culture, obviously from someone who's not within the program immediately like I am, but have been pretty close ties throughout the time. Talk to us about the difference that you guys have seen in the change of culture from year 1 to year 2.
The biggest change I'd have to say is team chemistry. I mean, I played freshman and sophomore year, and they were nowhere near as nice and as fun to be around as this team. We're so close. We love every one of each other. I think that's just how we play together, and it's really a great thing.
Garrett, thank you for taking some time joining us here today, and obviously congratulations on a big night. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Continuing on with Tribe Talk here today. Joining us now is Carlos Yanez. And Carlos, obviously, it was a fantastic night all the way around last night for you guys, coming out with the victory over Saydel. Big win at home. Obviously, lots of things to look back on the night. Kind of give us your overview of the night and your thoughts from the evening.
I thought we did pretty good for the night. We all obviously had there's some difficulties, like every team, but every good team will always figure a way how to win. Like Coach said last night, I feel like we could have done a lot better as a team, but it happens, it happens to the best of us, and we were a way better team than this, and we're just excited to come to practice Monday morning and get right to it.
Absolutely, lots of reasons to be as well. You said at 3-2 on the year. You're sitting at 1-0 in district play, and have a tough task this upcoming week, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But taking a look back at the whole week, this past week in general, homecoming week and stuff. Obviously, it's not easy to be keyed in long enough to get stuff implemented for a week of practice, but you guys seem to have that focus this week as it really paid off last night.
Yes, sir. It was really kind of difficult because several of our football players were on their homecoming court and all the excitement that comes with it, and so everyone was just excited and the gibberish were coming out and we were all excited to play.
And lots of reason too. You guys had a fantastic night, fantastic crowd as well. On top of that, talk to us about the energy of the night. When you're sitting there, you have the chance to kind of look at the crowd a little bit. What was the energy like that you were feeling from the field, from the crowd?
Oh, it was a great feeling, especially the student section. The student section is pretty loud. We haven't had a student section this loud in quite a while now, and they're really it's cool spirit, and we were all excited to just play in front of a huge crowd because we knew it was going to be a huge crowd tonight, especially with the alumni coming.
Absolutely, and you mentioned that alumni there. You obviously have had that in the back of your guys' minds all week long, knowing that the first ever playoff team in Clarke history was coming back to town. And did you have an opportunity to talk with any of those guys? What'd they tell you?
Sure, they talked to us on Boom Night on Thursday night and on Fridays, and they were just talking about the best teams would just play for each other and just look each other in the eyes and never had your eyes down no matter what, even if the circumstances were bad or good. You always look each other in the eye and you have pride and you see how much pride you have to play for one another.
Absolutely, and it's obviously kind of translating over to this year's team as you guys sit here at this mark, 3-2 early in the season, and then the 1-0 mark in district play. As you look back at the week in its whole, kind of give us your thoughts of the homecoming week and kind of the energy within the school. You're in school all the day long. You're kind of seeing all those different people. What was the energy like leading up to the game last night and all week long?
Oh, it was great. We had all the students and teachers, faculties telling us, hey, one more game, 2 more days, 3 more days, And it was kind of down to Friday night because we're all excited to see Friday night. This town deserves a win, and we all love football, and we're just excited to start and get going.
Absolutely, and talk to us, I guess, about your performance itself. Obviously, you're back for the first time last night, and how did that feel getting back out onto the field and being able to play with those guys?
Oh, it felt great. I had to get my first game out of my way. I was really nervous, and I was excited to play with my bros. They're my brothers, so I'm very excited to play with them. It was very fun, and I can't wait for next Friday.
I've asked this to quite a few of the guys I've talked to in the last couple of weeks, but where do you feel the culture has changed the most at this year, from Coach's first year here to even back a couple years ago? Where do you feel the culture is a lot different now than it has been in the past?
I'd say we have a lot more pride, tradition especially. We carry ourselves, and we have more expectations, higher expectations, and also we hold each other accountable. We don't want to let each other down. We all hold each other accountable. I say that's a big one too.
Absolutely. Now you guys have a tall task ahead of you this upcoming week. Obviously, Des Moines Christian's a tough team. They're a very talented team, talented quarterback play there. As you guys go into this upcoming week, how do you duplicate the performance you guys had last night and translate it into this upcoming week of game?
Obviously, we were still excited for the win last night, but we were still not really satisfied with our performance because we know we as a team we could do way better as a team. So we just had to come in Monday and start putting your head down and get straight to work.
Carlos, thank you for taking some time here with us today. Good luck against Des Moines Christian. Congratulations on a big homecoming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome back into Trime Talk here today. Joining us now is sophomore Jake Smith. And Jake, first off, thank you for joining us here today, talking a little bit about last night's big homecoming win.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, it was a fantastic night for you guys, for the team, for everybody involved in the program and the entire community nonetheless. But talk to us about last night and kind of the overall thoughts that you guys had as a team, the overall thought as the game went on, and kind of your feelings throughout the night.
Well, the team felt actually like we could do a lot better at halftime. And towards the end of the game, too, we felt like we could have done a lot better, so there's still more to work on. I felt really proud of our team and the way we played to still win by a large margin of points. Garrett Moore did a really good job rushing for the ball, and I feel like our defense had good times and some bad times. And also, Zane went out early, and then we pulled Sam up, and then that's just how we play as next man up.
You guys did go next man up, and it obviously proved in favor of you guys throughout the night as it went on to pick up that big victory. Talk to us, what was the message at halftime from the coaching staff to you guys? What was the message at the half that kind of got you guys sparked and really lit a fire under you in the third and fourth quarters?
It was more of like the coaches were talking to us and telling us like what we need to work on and all that, and then I feel like it was a lot more of the firing up was from the team, like the seniors and the leaders that got everyone more fired up.
Absolutely, and it seemed to pay off for you guys moving forward nonetheless. Big night, and what does it mean? Obviously, you're one of the younger guys on the team that sees quite a few minutes of playing time. But coming from last year to where it is now, talk to us about the change in the culture and where you feel the team is now. Talk to us what's different from last year's team to this year.
Well, there's a lot different, and then, well, a lot of the seniors now played last year as juniors, so then I have like last year experience with them, so I know how it feels. And some of the new seniors, it feels great to play with them, and like winning a lot more games this year feels a lot better. So like whenever I get home, I'm a lot more like happy instead of like being sad. And I feel like we're working a lot better as a team. We did a lot of bonding. When was it? In the off season to get like closer, more chemistry, and you can see that working pretty good.
And it's paying off right now as you guys sit 3-2, 1-0 in district play, and head into a big matchup this upcoming week with Des Moines Christian. Nonetheless, for you moving forward and looking at this, how do you use this game last night as a learning point, as well as a confidence booster moving forward?
I use it for a learning point for both offense and defense. There was stuff I could have done better on each side of the ball. I feel like on offense there was times that I could have blocked a lot better, or like I needed to focus in a little bit more. And on defense, there's same thing. I need to focus in a little bit more. And then there's missed opportunities that I should have taken advantage of. And I'm going to focus on those opportunities next game to take full advantage of them.
And you guys all obviously will find something learning point wise from film come Monday, but nonetheless a fantastic night for you guys to have for homecoming. Your first homecoming win in your career. What does it feel like to get a win in front of that big of a crowd at home?
It feels great. It was really exciting after the game. The students came down on the field with us, and I'm pretty sure there's someone that fights on me with us. It felt great to get my first one.
Jake, thank you for taking some time here with us this morning, and good luck next week against Des Moines Christian.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back into Tribe Talk here today, talking with the head football coach of the Clarke Indians, Duane Matthess. And Coach, you guys sit now 3-2 on the season, 1-0 in district play. It sounds great when you look at it and you hear that coming out. And now a big tough challenge coming up this week with a talented ball club in Des Moines Christian coming to town, and you guys have to face yet another pretty talented quarterback, another dual threat kind of guy this week for Des Moines Christian.
Yeah, Des Moines Christian is not the same team that they were last year. Neither are we, though. They have a real explosive athlete with their quarterback that we're going to have to try to contain. They knocked off Centerville this last week, which was and sounds like they handled them pretty well. So we're going to have our hands full. And it's a home game though for us, so they have to travel down to us. So we're going to be ready to play.
Big week nonetheless for you guys to get prepared for, and obviously you don't have the homecoming distractions, you don't have all those activities now to deal with this week. But as you guys go into this upcoming game this Friday, talk about the level of expectation you'd like to see from your team this week in practice, and then ultimately when you guys do take the field on Friday night.
Well, my message to the team was, it's nice to be 1-0. I go, it'd be nicer to be 2-0 though. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know who we play after Des Moines Christian. That's where my focus is at, and that's where their focus needs to be as well. But if it'd be really nice to be able to sit at 4-2 overall and 2-0 in the district. And the way we do that is that every day in practice we're locked in, and we're focusing on what our job is and what our responsibilities are on offense and defense and special teams. We have no mental lapses, no mental breakdowns in the sense of execution. And if we do that every single day this week and continue to get better and play at that level on Friday, I have a pretty good belief that we'll come out on top.
Absolutely, gives you guys that extra incentive as well. But you take this game, what happened against Saydel, use that as your confidence, I guess. Use that a little bit of momentum, and how do you think that'll carry you into Friday's game?
Well, it's always better the following week after a win. I mean, I think the energy is up a little bit. And these guys know that they're not. I mean, they've stayed pretty grounded. Not getting too overconfident. Because we always do a really good job at letting them know, like, look, each week it gets harder. So, Saydel was not the team that Des Moines Christian is going to be, and they have to understand that and approach this as a new opponent. And they're not going to just walk in and be like, oh, it's your guys' home game, so we'll let you win. We tell them all the time that you have to, respect is rented. Respect is rented in the sense of you have to go out there and earn it every single play for another team to respect us. And it's not just given to you. And the way that you do that is through execution and effort. And so I think that our players really take that to heart, and that's why you see them try so hard each play out there. So, and we don't quit.
Time to wrap up this week's edition of Tribe Talk. Coach, final thoughts before we head on into what would be week number 6 now.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're on the downhill slide here of our season already, but it's been a great ride so far. We want to continue it. Sitting at 2-0 in the district, and regardless of what happened in the non-district games, as long as you win all your district games, you're going to be playing in the postseason. So these guys have that on their minds right now, and the way that you get there is by, taking care of business this week. And love to see the crowd there that was there this week again next week. And just bring your mom, bring your brother, bring your uncle, whatever you want to this Friday. for our Heroes game, honoring all our past and present military, as well as first responders, firefighters, police officers. It's gonna be a great atmosphere, I think, and just looking forward to seeing everyone down at Clarke Field.
That's the head football coach of the Clarke Indians, Duane Matthess, here on Tribe Talk. That will do it for this week's edition of Tribe Talk. Tune in next week. We'll hear from Des Moines Christian and as well as some other players throughout the night.